Bon Jovi. All right, let's look outside.
Let me take you outside.
Wow.
The estate's 16 acres. It's all waterfront. Just over here, over the bridge, that's the Atlantic Ocean.
Inside their lives.
This is it. This is where we make the records. This is where we screen films.
That's a TV, isn't it?
Do you make your children watch your own movies?
Only when they're bad.
Next on Person to Person, John Bon Jovi. Living on a prayer? Not really.
He grew up a working-class kid in New Jersey. Today, he's one of the most successful artists in music history. John Bon Jovi fills stadiums with his fans and sells albums by the millions.
Yet he is a down-to-earth family man and a dedicated philanthropist. John is still in Jersey. He's in Red Bank now and has a slightly bigger house. Person to Person with John Bon Jovi.
Hi.
Hey, John.
Hello, America. Come on in. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Laura.
This is Charlie Rose.
Hi.
Laura Logan is with me. Where are we?
Well, this is our humble abode in beautiful New Jersey, and welcome to it. I'm going to show you guys around.
How long have you lived here?
Wow. Let's see. We got the land in 1995, designed and built the house, and moved in 99. So it's been 13 years that we've been in. This is the formal living room. I'll give you a little bit of a look-see. This is, well, a bunch of family portraits. My family. Dorothea, of course. That's Romeo, our youngest. That's Stephanie. Jacob and Jesse, the kids.
So you have 4 kids.
4 kids, same wife. That's my folks. That's my folks.
Those are your parents?
Yeah, my dad, John, my mom, Carol.
So I was curious to learn that your parents were both Marines.
True. That's how they met. My mom was not only a Marine, she was a Playboy bunny. And so I'm the product of 2 Marines.
Yeah, we're in the living room, and this is where the family comes together. Where do you watch television?
Well, we don't necessarily watch a lot of television, but what happens here in this house is we watch a lot of movies. And so it's a 35 millimeter projectionist that we keep hidden behind a tapestry. It's a little more than a TV.
That's a TV, isn't it?
That's pretty amazing.
So we screen whatever's in theaters here. Yeah, it's good fun.
Do you make your children watch your own movies?
Yeah. Only when they're bad. Only when they're in trouble.
Take me to the place where you keep your awards.
In this room, this is what I guess you'd call the office.
Wow.
This is where I come, sometimes to write, sometimes to play, just sometimes to keep memories around, little gifts that people have given me or awards. Here's something, for instance, Richie Sambora gave me this. It's signed by Bob Dylan, and it was given to me on my birthday.
There's a lot of stuff in this office, John.
This one's very, very special.
The Songwriters Award.
Yeah, well, the Songwriters Hall of Fame, I mean, when you're mentioned in the same kind of breath as so many of the greats that were there before you, it's wonderful. Because any kid who's ever strummed a tennis racket or a broomstick that aspired to be in a band, how many of those were lucky enough to ever make a record deal? How many of those were able to write a song? And how many of those were able to be honored with something like that? It's my life, it's now or never. We've been really blessed, Laura. I mean, 130 million plus albums at this point that's a lot of platinum discs around the house.
You're still a hard-working musician now. I mean, you mentioned being on tour a lot, but that's more than 500 shows just in the last few years alone. I mean, you've grossed almost $1 billion at this point.
Yeah, hallelujah, amen. I feel very lucky to be able to do what it is that I love to do and also have the adoration that we get that comes along with it. It's really humbling. It's great. Let me show you around some. Yeah. We'll go down this family hall.
Kind of looks like an Oval Office desk, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
I have pictures of the boss sitting at that desk. Many a senator have sat at that desk. and I have to sit on the side like the assistant whenever they come here.
So where are we, John?
Well, this is a pass-through hallway to the family wing of the house, but something that we call the Herb Ritz Gallery.
So this whole hallway is like almost a tribute to your family and to your children?
It is. Yeah, it is. It's really a special place for us.
Is it difficult with the kind of public presence you have to be the kind of father you want to be?
Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, look, I miss a lot of birthdays. I've missed a lot of school plays over the years. But then you also have the benefit of having a lot of time off when I'm not on tour, when I'm not making a record.
But how do you keep it real for them? What do you tell them to try and get them to understand how fortunate they are?
You, first of all, have to lead by example as a parent. Case in point, we're in this beautiful kitchen. We know how blessed we are. But where we spend most of our time these days when we're here at this house is at our community kitchen, the Soul Kitchen. Welcome, welcome. If you were to come there and you could pay for your meal, you do. If you cannot, you volunteer. There are no prices on our menus. Hey, welcome.
And it's not just your money. You go there, you work.
Oh, sure. I'm the best looking dishwasher, you know, this side of the Mississippi. Let me take you outside.
Wow. What's the river?
This is the Navesink River. Just over here over the bridge, that's the Atlantic Ocean.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. The estate's 16 acres. It's all waterfront. We have a nice little boat that I really drive poorly.
When you were growing up in New Jersey, could you ever imagine this?
No, I don't think any kid ever imagines this.
What else is on the property?
There's a lot. There's a lot of outer houses on the property. I'm going to show you a couple of them. One is the recording studio. If you'd like, I'll take you over there.
Let's see it. Boy, this is an incredible house, John. We can see it as you walk over to the studio, how magnificent this place is.
This is our home. This is the studio. This is where we've done every record since Crush.
So is this your commute to work, John, a 5-minute walk from the house?
Exactly. This is it. I pack a lunch and then I get out of the house. This is it. This is where we make the records.
Is this hallowed ground for Bon Jovi fans?
Yeah, this is our Graceland, right? It's very practical because by the time I go to a commercial studio somewhere, it's really freeing to be able to come to a place that's your own.
When do you work, John?
I really am a morning guy. I think a lot of it had to do with these kids, but they get you up anyhow, so I like to start around noontime. And
Morning guy. I like to start around noontime.
He's up at the crack of noon.
I hate to break it to you, John, but by noon, morning is officially over.
Where? No.
Is it really true that you're the one that's always been signed with the record company and the other members of the band essentially work for you?
Yeah, but in truth, it's a team effort. So without Richie Sambora, the sound wouldn't be the same. Some of the great collaborations would not be unless the team were intact. And I've been with the same band for nearly, well, it is 30 years this year.
What is it you think defines your connection to your fans?
It's hard to say because it's multi-generational, but I'd like to think that it's the underlying optimism of the lyric that's brought people together.
You're like the anti-rock star, right? With no drug problem, 32 years married to the same woman, no scandals, no skeletons in your closet, successful.
I couldn't run for political office, let's put it that way.
Well said. Suppose you come to this recording studio and you've got an inspiration and you're able to put the song together and you feel great and you want to go have a beer. Where do you go?
We've got that problem solved, too. There are no drunk driving tickets in this perfect, utopian world in which we live. Lara, come with me, if you will.
Okay, wait. Before you get out of here, I am told that there is a photograph from the 80s. I know that fashion-wise, the 80s were not kind to any of us. And as I hear it, you were no exception.
Where is this photograph?
All right. Well, there's some pictures along the wall here that date back. But this one in particular is a shot that was probably taken around 1980. That was me as a young boy, just starting off.
Can I say you've improved with age, John?
Well, you're very kind, thank you, but that's pretty funny.
So you're going to show us now where we can have a beer if we've had a great day.
I can do that. Come on, I'll take you. This is trouble, Charlie.
All right, I like trouble.
This is called the Shoe Inn. This is a place we come and get a beer when we were done recording.
This is quite a pub.
Yeah, this bar came from Paris. I found it in a flea market. It was one piece, believe it or not.
Have you had good nights in this place?
Yes, we've had many a good night in this place, but they're all in the memories now.
What are you writing about now?
Observations, really. There was one I sang in the studio for the cameras the other day called, What About Now? Stand up and live proud. What about now? Who's going to finally stand up and be that voice? Who's going to make that difference?
Thank you very much for letting us come share this place and this conversation.
Well, I want to thank you both for coming and for letting the rest of the country in as well, you know? But these are my actual season tickets, my seats from Giant Stadium as it was torn down. The Giants were kind enough to tear out our 5 seats and deliver them.
The Giants were kind enough for a price?
Yeah, well, they did bang on my door and ask me to open their new stadium for 4 nights last summer, so this was a nice little gift.
As they say,
So
only
we
the
opened
first
new
one
place
is free, John.
Exactly.
So did you sit on those seats with your children and watch games?
Yeah, my dad and my 3 sons. And this is how we'd sit every Sunday at Giants and still do. We have seats in the new stadium, but they won't let me take them out with me when I leave at the end of the game. My grandma went to she went to Las Vegas, where Dorothy and I eloped, and she posed in front of the place. I wasn't there, you know. They keep this sign outside the Graceland Chapel.
To
now,
say that they
I think
married you and your high school sweetheart?
Yeah, that says Lorenzo Lamas under me. I don't think he's married to the same lady any longer. But the Graceland Chapel, you know, they keep that out there. And so for whatever reason, we've been good for business there at the Graceland Chapel where I was married. But yeah, that's the story of my grandma there.
Was it as
and
bad
this,
and
Charlie,
tacky as it looks in the movies when you two got married there?
Yeah, sure. The flying Elvises, we had them all. I was once on an airplane with President Clinton, and we were going somewhere, and there was 2 other folks on the plane, and my wife and I. And the gentleman whose plane it was said, whose job is better, Mr. President, yours or John's? And I says, can I answer that? And he says, sure, go ahead. I says, mine. And they said, well, why do you say that? I says, because I got to keep the house in the airplane. My most prized possession in this room, now that I'm looking down here, is this. This is a proclamation given to me by President Obama, signed also by the Secretary of State Clinton, naming myself to the Council on Community Solutions. So I'm one of 25 people on this council, and our job is to help disenfranchised youth gain employment and help them with education.
What does that mean, John?
I've been in an outreach program to startup and tech companies to try to take some of these kids and train them, either give them internships or training, pay for their education kind of opportunities so that they can get this gainful employment going forward. It's a difficult task because you have 30, 40, and 50-year-olds that are all vying for these same jobs today. The president has put us up to this task, and it's not easy, and it's not getting any easier, but until we deliver, it's going to sit there waiting for its moment to sit there.